Holy moly. Okay. You need to give me a minute. Or like the rest of my life off at this point. So, it was like a magical journey. I was joined by first the dog, who I immediately by accident clipped in the face with a flying butt kick or whatever it was that I was supposed to be doing. Hello Tobias, hello Carissa. Yeah, I injured the dog, and then my wife came in to join the whole exercise thing, and then Baz came in to do the exercise thing. So everyone's giggling and having fun. Nobody looked as miserable and sweaty as I did, I gotta say. Greetings from Nova Scotia. I quite like it out there, I must say. At the east coast of Canada, it's pretty freaking lovely. Scottish Undertones ASMR. That's a great name. It's that time again, Michael. It's that time for me to complain. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Ivan. Good morning, Candice. Good morning, Camaraden. And from St. John's. Freaking A. Love St. John's. I did Rex out there. Commissario Rex. No, that's what they used to be called in Italy. What's it called? Hudson and Rex. Oh God, I loved it out there. Just loved it. I hadn't been out there since I'd done Boys of St. Vincent. And so there were all these people on the film crews there who had started out as, because basically when we went and did Boys of St. Vincent out there, we hired like every single child there was in St. John's to play these kids. And they've all grown up now. And they all work or many of them work in the film industry. So, I was served craft services by this lovely guy. And he said, I said, how do you get into, we talking, I said, how did you get into all this? And he said, I did a show years ago, Boys of St. Vincent. I was like, oh my gosh, I was in Boys of St. Vincent. I said, what did you do in Boys of St. Vincent? He goes, I don't know really. I was at a funeral. I'm doing a terrible accent. I was at a funeral, and we were all very sad about someone dying. I said, oh my God, that was my funeral. So he was at my funeral when I was doing the film. Of course, I wasn't at my own funeral because you don't need the actor if he's dead. But anyway, so I just thought it was kind of cute that this kid who was playing like a 10, 11-year-old at the time, is now, running the food department of a big Canadian production. Anyways, it's kind of fun. But they all talk like this, and I don't understand what they're saying half the time. They sound almost Irish. Oh man, I'll tell you, some of the best, loveliest people I've ever met out there in St. John's. And also, without a doubt, the best breakfasts I've ever had. Without a doubt, the best breakfasts I've ever had. Oh my God, there were fish cakes, there were moose sausage, there was bear sausage, there were pancakes, the bacon, the eggs, it's perfect. Perfect. The food was just spectacular. And they've discovered sushi all of a sudden, which is great. So it's fantastic sushi restaurants. Oysters, oh my God. When this is all over, when all this madness is over, do yourself a favor, go book yourself a trip to St. John's. Or Nova Scotia, for that matter. But St. John's, Newfoundland is pretty freaking grand, I'd say. Beautiful walks, and God, it's just, I kind of wanted to live there, I gotta say. I don't think I could persuade my family out there, but boy, I just loved it. I could retire out there in a second. But first I'm going to die of thirst. Look at this, I'm not even doing caffeine now. It was so miserable today, I've just gone straight to water. I'm turning into some kind of a hippie fitness freak. Bro, your lung capacity is amazing. No, I don't. That's the problem. I look forward to visiting Newfoundland sometime. Oh, what do they say? Isn't it grand, Newfoundland? That's how you say Newfoundland. Because people say Newfoundland. And it's not Newfoundland, it's Newfoundland. Because isn't it grand, Newfoundland is what I'm told. Hey, David, what are you reading these days? Recent book that I am reading is, it's kind of boring. It's not boring. I find it fascinating, but it's sort of a boring title. It's the Personal MBA. So this is the Personal Masters of Business, whatever the heck it is. So it's written by this guy who I heard interviewed on one of my favorite podcasts now, Indie Hackers, which I suggest you all go and check out. Indie Hackers. I think it's on Spotify, but they've also got a website and forums and all sorts of stuff. But I'm really impressed with this Indie Hackers podcast. And they talk to all these people who've sort of succeeded in the entrepreneurial space, with startups, or, some of them buy other people's businesses. I mean, it's just, I really enjoyed this other podcast called My First Million, but I found it was so focused on the money that which I know is important to people, but for me and what I'm doing with Tech Bandits, I need something that's more about like a passion-driven I don't know what the term for it would be, but not charity, but something that's giving back as opposed to just trying to make a buck. So I found that I preferred the indie hackers approach to this stuff than than My First Million. Although there was some great My First Millions, but if you like that kind of thing, the one I like the most is an NPR one. Not the one I like the most, but the one of like people building companies that you've heard of. Is How I Built This. This is an NPR podcast, which is just great. But from a reading standpoint, again, shockingly, I don't do a lot of reading. So right now, as I say, I'm combining my time between this personal MBA book, which I really like. It's just down to earth. It's just for idiots like me who don't know a thing about business, so it's geared at people like me, probably people 30 years younger than me, but still people like me. And the other one I'm reading is all of the having done this like 72 hours of biology course with the great courses series. I thought I don't want to just lose it. I don't want it to just disappear. I don't want it to sort of fizzle out now that I've plowed through it all. So what I'm now doing is I'm going back and I'm reading through all of the show notes. Show notes, it's the wrong term, isn't it? The class notes, which is sort of an abbreviated version of what's happened in the class and a couple of questions to make you think and things. So those are the two things I'm reading right now. So really, I'm the dullest man alive. That's where my reading is. Exactly. They all say Newfoundland. It's not Newfoundland. It's Newfoundland. And it's also, I feel like it's very Scottish. It's very Irish, very Scottish, very Wales out there. It's very sort of, it's just lovely. You swallowed a dictionary just life. You swallowed a dictionary just like Rodney McKay, maybe? All right. Those glasses really define your face. Do they? It's so funny because I feel weird without them now. Possibly because I'm blind. Like I'm getting to the point where on set, I will usually not wear glasses because I'm not usually cast with glasses. And I can sort of make out what's going on. It takes me a while to focus on things again. Like I can sort of see things a little bit. It's definitely easier with these on. Not much easier when they're all fogged up because of all of my pathetic attempts at exercise. Oh my God, I flail around. I couldn't believe it. My son didn't even look slightly flushed. My wife was completely stoic throughout the entire thing. It didn't seem to affect her at all. There's like a puddle where I was on the floor. It was horrible. It's a Scottish name. What's that? What do we got here? What's going on? Scottish McKay. It is McKay. It does. I know. I think it is a kind of a Scottish name, isn't it? But he gets around those McKays, I guess. Did you ever make it to Sweden, and have you heard of Starfinder, a sci-fi offshoot of Pathfinder, which is similar to D&D? I don't know of that. And no, I've never been to Sweden, and I tell you, I'd love to. So find a reason for me to go, and I'm there. I'm so thirsty. So thirsty, and that's so fizzy. Come on, super bro, hero, you got this. Yeah, really. Yeah, such a superhero. I could barely do 21 minutes of exercise. So today, I gotta go to work. That's my news for today. And I gotta say, we were talking about anxiety the other day. I'm anxious. I'm not freaking out, but I definitely find myself, I've been cocooned at home for a long time now. I did go out and do some filming. I've now found out we got to go and do some pickup shots. So we're going to go back to that past production and do a couple of days on that, I think. I'm going to say I've got to. It's fun. I don't resent the work. It just does make me nervous right now because we're not getting vaccinated. There's no vaccinations here. I don't see us getting vaccinated before the end of the summer at the earliest at this rate. So it does make me a bit nervous. And I've got to go to a studio today. So I got to go to a studio and do some, they call it ADR, like additional dialogue recording or something like that. I don't know exactly what it means, but all it means is you stand in front of a microphone and a screen and they go doop, 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 and then you speak your line in sync with whatever's going on screen or as off-camera lines. I think I'm doing a lot of off-camera lines because they've sexied up the beginning of the show. So originally there was a lot of interview stuff happening at the beginning of the show that I've just done. And I'm doing another one, actually. I just got invited back for another episode next month, which is kind of fun. In fact, I'm going to do a read-through for it online on Sunday. It's just a fabulous cast and crew and stuff, so it's just kind of fun to to hang out. Even if I've just got one scene, but I quite enjoy sort of like lurking in the background and listening to all these amazing actors do their thing. Anyways, so plus I get to be an FBI agent, so I may even just put my card up in the corner of the screen. Put my little FBI card up in the corner because I stole one of those from set. So, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not an FBI agent. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, so I got to go and do ADR for this first episode that I did a while back. And as I say, they sort of sexied up the beginning, which is an actor. The actor side of me goes, that means all that cool acting stuff we were doing is going to be intercut with things. It's not, as an actor, you should want to be on screen and have people just loving every moment of your face. But of course, having people seen it and they've decided they want to sexy it up by adding new things. The reality is, it's absolutely the wisest thing to do. Let's see, the whole point of the beginning of a show is you don't want to be people standing around talking. They want it to look cool. So they've added a whole bunch of stuff there. And so I think what they've done is they want to rework some of that dialogue at the beginning, so I will be able to get to the point a little faster, which, as you know, has to be written for me because I'm not very good at getting to the point, am I? Before someone like Cal says that. So that's today. And then I think, honestly, the biggest stress of this whole thing is I don't have a car. There's parking would be a nightmare down there anyway, so I'm going to streetcar it. I got to take the subway today, and I was going to walk it, but it's so freaking cold that I just think it'll be miserable, and I don't want to arrive horribly out of breath, and because obviously it's all about the voice. So I've got to do the subway today, which I really feel for people who are doing this all the time, because it's just, I'll be all wrapped up in a coat and a mask. I'll probably do the 2 mask thing, and I might even put a face shield on because I'm just that paranoid. But I just don't want to get sick. I've got work coming up, and we desperately need this work. Desperately need. That is a relative term, I suppose. But yeah, we really need the income. There wasn't supposed to be a 6-month pause. Or an 8-month pause, or whatever it ended up being. And then I did some work before Christmas, and it was supposed to start up again right after Christmas, and of course it hasn't. So now it's being pushed, and everything's sort of pushing to the end of January, beginning of February now. Some of it even pushed to March. So it's just, it's just it's stretching things a bit thin. So I just don't want to get sick and not be able to do this stuff. So I'm just kind of paranoid about that. But I'm also just, I'm a germaphobe. I'm a McKay. What can I say? I'm a germaphobe. I'm a hypochondriac. So it's the perfect time for me. This is my time. These are the golden years for me. I just get to complain. And double masks make no sense. Actually, Amaya, it does. And I'll tell you why it's supposed to make a difference, scientifically speaking anyways. I don't usually do it. I have a little cage thing that fits in my mask that pushes the mask away from my face. So it has a little like almost basket. It's like I've got a muzzle. I got a muzzle. I put a muzzle underneath my mask, and then it's between two layers of fabric, and all it does is it just holds the mask away from your face and your nose. And the idea behind that is, the problem with just a flat mask is that you're breathing in whatever you breathe in. It gets trapped in the mask, and then it's touching your face and your nose and everything. So it's effectively, it's a contact point for infection. The 2 mask thing, you've got one mask to catch whatever's happening on the outside, and that is separate from your mouth, so that the initial contact with any virus, like the Swiss cheese model, is hitting that first mask, and you have that extra separation between the other mask as well. So it's just harder for it to jump between those 2 layers. They're not being sucked in and out of your mouth as I see kids and elderly doing down the street. So on film sets, they are demanding that there are two masks now. So and I believe it was, I think we were talking to one of the doctors here who was saying that they use 2 masks as well. I probably won't for the subway and stuff. I think it's probably overkill. But I do think I'm going to wear a face shield. I do think I'm going to wear a mask, and I've got these little glasses that you snap on. Which, why not? Big deal. And also it's like living in a science fiction movie. It's like living in Blade Runner, right? So I'm going with it. It's obvious the more layers work better. Why would anyone even question that? Yeah, the reality is that nothing is perfect. Unless you are going into the full PPE with the tape and the special, and the washing and the this and the cleansing. And even that, things can get through. It's just about taking precautions, right? And I don't like the idea of being in a confined. It has to be heated because the streetcar is, because it's so freaking cold out. So it's going to be circulated air, warm circulated air with a bunch of people, most of whom don't want to be on that streetcar anyways. And if you do want to be on that streetcar, I don't want to be on the streetcar with you because chances are you're not thinking straight. So yeah, that's that's it. Closed spaces with air conditions is most needed areas for 2 masks due to the recirculation of air in a closed environment. There you go, DNW. That's it. Wow. So Chelsea, you double mask with your parents. We get this. We are masked and socially distanced when we see our parents. My mom is now being vaccinated, so she's got the first vaccine shot. She'll get the second vaccine shot before she heads over here, because she's actually moving back to Canada in the middle of a pandemic. Don't ask me why. So she will be vaccinated. So hopefully that'll help. But they're talking about this variant that you could potentially reinfect. So who knows? I mean, the fact of the matter is, whatever you can do to take precautions, why not do it? You know what I mean? If there's a chance that 2 masks work, then she got vaccinated. She's in England. She's in London, and she's 80 or whatever it is. So she gets the vaccination. So, and it's finally time for a live show, indeed. Talking about live shows, we did a Game Bandits yesterday that I really, really enjoyed. I don't know what it was that the kids were so. I wouldn't say the kids were so engaged. I was so interested in what the kids had to say about their sort of experiences online and stuff. And I just feel like those are those magic moments with Tech Bandits where it all sort of makes sense to me. Where, I can have these pages and pages of things that we can talk about. And sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. I don't care. I take no offense if they're not interested in the stuff that I found interesting. It's not just for them anyways. I think it's also to raise things to people who are in the chat as well. I tried to bring up this stock market manipulation stuff that was happening with on the Wall Street Bets subreddit, where they jacked up the price of GameStop 160%. And I just thought it was fascinating that there was a writer, and I have their, if you go over to the techbandits.com, one of the posts will show you that. Actually, I say that, I'm not sure it will, because I've got to do some work on that site and get some of those articles to pop up a little better, because right now I think you sort of got to dig for them. You got to know they're there, basically. So, anyways, I'll try to repost that, and also the Tech Bandits first Writing Bandits session is about to. I'll post that today as well, with a little landing page. And I beg you, please, 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 if you can, and when you can, and you can see it on the YouTube video as well. If you can, if you're interested in any of the books, whether they're Crow Scratch's books, which are fantastic and I highly recommend, and very cheap, they're worth them. I just buy them, even if it's just to support the writer. If you wouldn't mind buying them through the links I give you, that'd be great, because they're affiliate links, and so we get a couple of pennies towards Tech Bandits as well. So, and I've also listed some of the books that we talked about that we enjoyed for writing. There's was it Save the Cat and Story, which I got to say I found a pretty pretentious story, but it, there's definitely some interesting stuff in it. Big book. Big expensive hardcover book, if I remember correctly. And then the last one was, was there another one? There's only 2 I can think of right now. Anyways, but yeah, so go, look at it's in the description of the YouTube video, and I'll put them in the landing page as well. I'm just trying to find other sources of income that aren't going to cost people. I would love people to. I thought another good suggestion would be, if you want to buy batteries and you buy them on Amazon, just buy them through an affiliate link from Tech Bandits, and then we would, we could have a little recurring, a few pennies here and there, which would be cool. So just looking for different ways of raising money, honestly, without having to just beg. So as I said, like when I'm filming, it's great. I've got money, so I can I can and I do spend it on Tech Bandit stuff, because that's what I like doing. It's like almost like a hobby of mine, so I don't mind spending the money. But especially when times are a little harder, it makes a big difference to have people help out, which is just great. And also, I mean, it's funny. One of the things I got when I got my new phone, the phone I have has this like LiDAR thing on it. Like this new iPhone has this LiDAR thing, and it allows you to do scans. So what I thought I would do is I'd do like a 3D scan of this space, and then a 3D scan of the garage. And I thought we could do like sort of like a fantasy, and maybe even the backyard to some extent, because maybe there's a way to dig a bunker or a tunnel or do something really cool. I just thought it might be kind of fun to sort of come up with a dream Tech Bandits HQ that we could sort of like virtually plan, and then I don't know, maybe one day we'll try to raise some money for it or something, because the garage right now, I can't use the garage. It's too freaking cold. It's bitterly cold, and there's a hole in one side of the wall where the animals have sort of built have built nests, and then I've had to unbuild those nests, and then they've built them again, and then they've moved further into the walls, and it's just, and the roof is leaking, and there's just too many problems right now to deal with. And then, of course, in the summer, it's like a freaking oven. You can only be in there for a little while before you basically pass out. So, that's funny. Oh, SpaceX is happening now. Woohoo, go see it. I got to go. So look, thank you all. Sorry, I'm completely babbling on. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back on streaming. I might this afternoon if I find myself home in time and have that social feeling. But I'm certainly going to do some. Well, maybe I'll go on. Maybe I can go live while I'm doing some web stuff. We'll see. Anyways, so I shall say, be safe, be kind, be brilliant. And until we meet again, I shall say a cheerio and huzzah! See you later. Wish me luck. Going out into the big bad world. Bye.